Some movies stay with you long after the credits roll. But horror movies, the really good ones, they crawl under your skin and refuse to leave. And nothing hits harder than an ending that flips everything on its head or leaves you staring at the screen in absolute disbelief. Today, we're diving into the most terrifying, soul-crushing, and unforgettable horror movie endings ever put to film. These aren't just jump scares that fade in 5 minutes. These are the finales that haunt you for days, maybe weeks. The ones that make you question everything you just watched. So if you're ready to revisit some of the most disturbing conclusions in horror history, let's get started. But fair warning, massive spoilers ahead. Movie 1, The Mist. Let's kick things off with one of the most devastating endings in modern horror. The Mist, based on Stephen King's novella, follows a group of survivors trapped in a supermarket as mysterious creatures lurk in a thick fog outside. After barely escaping, our protagonist David and 4 others run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. They're surrounded by mist, out of options, and completely hopeless. David has a gun with 4 bullets left. You can see where this is going. In an act of mercy, he shoots everyone in the car, including his own son, to spare them from being torn apart by monsters. Then he steps out, ready to face whatever comes next. But here's the gut punch. Within minutes, the military rolls through the mist. They've cleared the creatures. Rescue was literally moments away. David collapses, screaming in anguish as he realizes he just killed everyone for nothing. It's not just tragic, it's absolutely destroying. Even Stephen King himself said he wished he'd thought of this ending. That's how brutal it is. Movie 2, Hereditary. If you've seen Hereditary, you know this movie doesn't just disturb you. It dismantles you piece by piece. The film follows a family dealing with the death of their secretive grandmother, but things spiral into absolute nightmare territory. The final act is pure, unfiltered horror. After watching his mother's decapitated body floating into a treehouse and discovering his father's burned corpse, Peter is completely broken. He's possessed, or maybe he's just lost his mind. Either way, he jumps out a window, but he doesn't die. He wakes up in the treehouse, surrounded by cult members all bowing to him. His grandmother, his mother, they were part of a demon-worshipping cult all along. And Peter, he's now the host for Paimon, a demon king. The movie ends with Peter, or what's left of him, being crowned in this nightmarish ceremony. There's no escape, no hope, the evil one. And it was orchestrated from the very beginning. What makes this ending so terrifying is the inevitability of it all. Every horrible thing that happened was leading to this moment, and there was never any chance of stopping it. Movie 3, The Blair Witch Project. Now let's talk about the movie that changed found footage horror forever. The Blair Witch Project might seem tame by today's standards, but that ending, still chilling. 3 film students venture into the woods to document the legend of the Blair Witch. They get lost, tensions rise, and things get increasingly sinister. By the final night, only Heather and Mike are left, and they stumble upon an abandoned house in the middle of the woods. Mike's voice calls out from somewhere inside. Heather follows with her camera. The footage becomes chaotic. Heather is screaming. She runs downstairs and finds Mike standing in the corner, facing the wall, completely still. Then her camera drops. The footage cuts to black. And that's it. Remember the legend mentioned earlier in the film? The killer made children face the wall while he murdered the others. Mike standing there means he's either possessed, controlled, or already dead. Either way, Heather is next. What makes this ending unforgettable is what you don't see. Your imagination fills in the blanks, and that's always more terrifying than anything they could have shown. Movie 4, Sleepaway Camp. Here's a twist ending that absolutely blindsided audiences back in 1983. Sleepaway Camp is a slasher film set at a summer camp where teenagers are being murdered one by one. The shy, quiet camper, Angela, seems like the final girl. She's been bullied, traumatized, and we're rooting for her. Her love interest, Paul, finds her on the beach at night, standing over a decapitated head. As he approaches, Angela turns around. She's completely naked, and the camera reveals she's biologically male. But it gets darker. Angela is actually Peter, the boy who died in a boating accident years ago. His aunt forced him to live as his dead sister Angela, and the psychological torment created a killer. The final shot of Angela making this inhuman hissing sound, covered in blood, is pure nightmare fuel. It's disturbing on multiple levels, and that image sticks with you. For 1983, this ending was absolutely shocking. Even today, it's one of the most talked about twist endings in horror history. Movie 5, The Wicker Man. Not the Nicolas Cage remake. We're talking about the 1973 original, which features one of the most haunting endings ever filmed. Sergeant Howie travels to a remote Scottish island to investigate a missing girl. He discovers the island practices pagan rituals, but he's a devout Christian and refuses to participate. He eventually finds the girl and thinks he saved the day. But it was all a setup. The entire investigation was designed to lure him there. The island needs a sacrifice. A man who came of his own free will has the authority of a king, which his position as sergeant provides, is a virgin and is a fool. Howie checks every box. The islanders trap him inside a massive wooden effigy shaped like a man. They set it on fire while singing and celebrating. Howie screams, prays, and begs for his life as he burns alive. The villagers just watch. To them, this is a good thing. They're ensuring their crops will grow. His death means nothing to them. The camera pulls back as the Wicker Man burns against the sunset. Howie screams, fading into the folk music. It's beautiful and absolutely horrifying at the same time. Movie 6, Martyrs. Fair warning, Martyrs is not for everyone. This French extreme horror film is brutal from start to finish, but the ending elevates it to something genuinely disturbing. The film follows Lucy and Anna, who track down the people who tortured Lucy as a child. But the torture wasn't random. It was part of a secret society's experiment to create a martyr, someone who transcends suffering and glimpses the afterlife. Anna is captured and subjected to unimaginable torture. She's beaten, flayed alive, and pushed to the absolute brink of death. Eventually, she reaches a state of transcendence and whispers what she saw to the cult leader. We never hear what Anna said. The cult leader keeps it to herself. But moments later, during a gathering of the society's elite members, she's asked if the afterlife exists and if martyrdom is real. She leans to her assistant and whispers something. Then she goes into another room and shoots herself in the head. Her assistant is asked what she said. She responds, "Keep doubting. That's it. After all that suffering, all that horror, we don't know if there's anything beyond death." The cult leader's suicide suggests either it was too terrible to describe or there's nothing at all. Anna's torture was meaningless. It's nihilistic, bleak, and leaves you feeling completely hollow. Movie 7, The Orphanage. This Spanish horror film is a masterclass in emotional devastation. Laura moves back to the orphanage where she grew up, now with her husband and adopted son, Simon. Simon has imaginary friends, or so she thinks. Then he vanishes. Laura becomes obsessed with finding him. She holds a séance, uncovers dark secrets, and realizes the orphanage is haunted by the ghosts of children who died there decades ago. In the final act, Laura accidentally discovers that Simon has been dead the entire time. He was trapped behind a hidden door in the basement. He died alone, scared, calling for his mother, and she never heard him. Overcome with grief, Laura takes pills and lies down with Simon's body. The ghosts of the orphanage children appear, and Laura chooses to stay with them. The film ends with her husband visiting the orphanage, now a refuge for disabled children, as Laura's ghost watches over them all. It's not traditionally scary, but it's absolutely heartbreaking. The horror comes from a mother's grief and the unbearable weight of realizing you failed to save your child. Movie 8, Eden Lake. If you want to lose faith in humanity, Eden Lake is the movie for you. This British horror film follows a couple, Jenny and Steve, on a romantic getaway that turns into a nightmare when they're terrorized by a gang of teenage thugs. Steve is tortured and killed. Jenny barely escapes, covered in blood and desperate. She stumbles upon a house and begs for help. The family inside seems concerned. They tend to her wounds. Then the gang's ringleader walks in. It's their son. This is his house, his parents. Jenny realizes too late what's happening. The father, instead of helping her, protects his son. The family attacks Jenny. The screen cuts to black as she screams. The final shot shows the gang burning evidence while their families, perfectly normal suburban people, cover up the murders. No justice, no escape. Evil won, and it's going to get away with it. Eden Lake is terrifying because it feels real. There's no supernatural force to blame, just human cruelty and the protection of privilege. So there you have it. 8 horror movie endings that refuse to leave your brain. These aren't just scary movies, they're experiences that challenge you, disturb you, and make you think about them long after they're over. What makes these endings so powerful is that they break the rules. The good guys don't always win. Justice doesn't always prevail. Sometimes evil just wins, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, I want to hear from you. What horror movie ending messed you up the most? Did I miss one that still haunts you? Drop your answers in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into cinematic nightmares, hit that like button and subscribe for more horror content. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the scariest part isn't the monster. It's knowing that the credits are about to roll and there's no happy ending coming. Until next time, sleep tight.